99.9 FM Substitute Radio. It's the top of the hour, so it's time for the Bizz News Summary Update Recap Show. I'm Geoffrey Concentrated. Here's what's been making headlines this hour. The National Public Service has been in a state of lockdown since 6 a.m. this morning, with the beginning of the civil servant strike. The industrial action, comprising flying pickets, go-slows and work bans, are designed to prevent any serious governmental administration from taking place. The Civil Servants Union, the UAPS, has said that these actions will continue indefinitely until the government returns to the table for good faith negotiations on pay and conditions. In order to prevent the strike from being broken by scabs or police, the UAPS has issued its members with special lock-equipped polyester webbing cords, which can be used to lock down doors and windows, preventing all unauthorized entry into the work premises. These cords, which are all coloured red, can only be unlocked by using the master key, which is in the possession of the UAPS Vice President. The Federal Minister for Public Administration and Civil Affairs has denounced the strike action as industrial terrorism. He further added that only by cutting these tapes can the strike action be defeated and public administration be resumed to normal. One of the most popular restaurants in the city has introduced some new items on the menu, which are as controversial as they are enticing, and customers are lining up by the score to give them a try. These are dishes where the main ingredient is edible dirt, ranging in texture from mud to dust. The Cool Cocoa and Crazy Chili Carnival, located on Marble Street, with the menu designed and managed by head chef Nathaniel Pinsky, has introduced a new line of meals made from new saturated protein soils, which are completely safe for human consumption. In his press conference yesterday, Mr. Pinsky took a big bite out of a dust souvlaki, proclaiming it to be a rich, authentic and wholesome dish, and explaining that it was just one of several dirt dishes now available to order. Billionaire philanthropist socialite Daria Yadin has said that she has a new plan for ending world hunger, and it's likely to have international social workers sit up and take notice. Her plan starts by taking a common foodstuff that contains most of the daily nutrients that a human body needs, that's not too difficult to produce on a mass scale, and that isn't going to rot or go off too quickly. Mrs. Yadin favours the use of pies, because they're easy to package and they can vary on their filling. The key is to make the foodstuffs big enough so that just one pie could feed a dozen or more people. The next step, which is Mrs. Yadin's innovative new idea that she's very proud of, is to add the ingredient helium into the cooking process, so that when they come out of the oven, the pies float in mid-air. So Mrs. Yadin's program will involve making these pies and releasing them near third world countries, making sure that wind direction and pressure will send them to villages full of starving people. Mrs. Yadin said that, though many have dismissed her as a wide-eyed dreamer, she honestly believes she can end world hunger with this scheme, which she plans to fund entirely out of her own pocket. She also said that she is hoping to get the program off the ground by the beginning of 2019. The president of the International Association of Blackjack, Poker and Solitaire has announced a dramatic change to the rules of competition standard poker, on the very eve of the new season of regional and city tournaments. Karim Ali Khawaja explained in a recent radio interview that the way things are right now, poker is a very uneven and unfair sport which needs to be corrected. Too often, the most successful players are the ones able to play mind games, tricks, distractions, and generally manipulate the other players into doing the wrong thing, rather than the winner being the best person capable of calculating risk versus reward, which is the essence of what poker is. So from now on, all players when sitting at the table must wear these specially designed masks over their faces, which prevent them from both showing facial expressions and verbally communicating with other players. Mr. Kawaja said that by introducing these masks, which he has nicknamed the draw faces, it will help make poker a more skill-based rather than psychology-based game. A very rare meteorological event happened over the weekend in the Goodwin Valley, when brains started to fall from the sky, littering the nearby fields and hills with pink and white soft tissue. According to the National Bureau of Oceanic and Atmospheric Science, this was caused by an unusually high buildup of cerebral and nervous particles in a high-pressure system, which wasn't able to be reabsorbed into the clouds in the usual way. The growing clusters of synapses, receptors, and nerve cells then spontaneously formed into brains, which are of course too large, dense, and heavy to stay in the atmosphere, and so fell down to the ground. According to the NBOAS, this phenomenon only happens on average once every 10 years. They also said that the brain matter isn't harmful to the humans or animals it comes into contact with, though digesting it is discouraged because the taste is very unpleasant. And that's what's been making news this hour. The next edition of the Bizz News Summary Update Recap Show will be at the top of the next hour. You're listening to Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I'm Geoffrey Concentrated. We'll now return you to your normal programming.